Dave Marsh, iGolftv. Answering some questions. I've had quite a few questions about the Ryder Cup come in. Had a question from Rav, Dave, who do I think will win the Ryder Cup? Same question from Matt from Kansas, Oklahoma, probably an American fan. A question from Rachel, whether I thought Monty should have picked Paul Casey instead of Harrington. Really interesting subjects. I'm going to tell you a couple of my thoughts really on the Ryder Cup. Probably only 10 days away from it now, so it's getting close. For those of you that don't know, the European team is Roderick Harrington, Lee Westwood, Luke Donald, Ian Poulter, Miguel Angel Jimenez, Martin Keimer, Graham McDowell, Rory McIlroy, Ross Fisher, Peter Hansen, and then the brothers Francisco Molinari and Eduardo. What a win his was in Blood Eagles. And you've also got the American team that's Mickelson, Hunter Mahan, Bubba Watson, Jim Furyk, Steve Stricker, Dustin Johnson, Jeff Overton. Many of you probably won't know Jeff Overton. Matt Kuchar, Tiger Woods, Stuart Sink, Zach Johnson, and the young fella Ricky Fowler. So obviously very strong teams for both of them. Interesting as well, I'll talk a little bit about Darren Clark, Thomas Bjorn, Paul McGinley, and they've also got Sergio Garcia, which is a great call from Monty to get him in as one of the vice captains. Although he's not playing, he's going to bring a huge amount of energy to the European team. Corey Paven's gone for almost a bit more experience with Tom Lehman, Davis Love, Paul Goydos and Jeff Sluman. These guys are playing a crucial role nowadays. They'll send one of the vice captains out at every match to report back to the captains how players are playing. Let me talk about Casey and Harrington first of all. I'm not surprised that Monty went for Harrington for a few reasons. Harrington, phenomenal golfer, obviously won 3 majors. Now his form in the Ryder Cup, this is really where Monty's getting some stick. His actual results over the last couple of Ryder Cups has not been that good, and his match play record on the whole isn't that good. And what Monty was talking about was that none of the Americans would want to go face to face with someone like Harrington. But I suppose from the Americans' point of view, they can point to this record that he's had in the Ryder Cup that he's not done so well. Obviously Casey, on the other hand, playing great at the moment, almost just won, just lost out to Dustin Johnson in the last playoff event. But I'm not surprised that he's gone for Harrington, because I think what he's looked at is Harrington potentially is a little bit more of a team player maybe than Casey. No offence to Casey, but Casey's more of an individualist, where I think Harrington is going to come in and bring that level of experience, the age that he is. He's going to be able to bond a few of the younger players and give a little bit more that way. So I think that's what Monty was thinking about on one hand. Also I think of, because Harrington's had really a poor season from his expectations, he's going to come into this Ryder Cup and this could make or break his year. And Harrington's a guy that you don't want to back against. He's the sort of guy that's going to really come in there with just the sort of game you want from a player in the Ryder Cup, especially from a captain's pick. He's going to be like Ian Poulter was in the last Ryder Cup. Poulter was the leading scorer. I feel if you want to put a bet on Harrington being the leading point scorer in the Ryder Cup. I feel he's going to come in there, he's going to play 5 matches, he's really going to be focused to get some points. And I think he'll be similar to Lee Westwood. Lee Westwood came into the Ryder Cup probably 10 years ago now at the Belfry, having played terribly for probably 18 months. But he came in and he had a phenomenal Ryder Cup, completely restored all his confidence in his game. Now I don't think Harrington's in that same place as Westwood was, but I really feel strongly that Harrington will come right through in the Ryder Cup, be one of the vital members of the team, and will come out of it with an awful lot of confidence, and he'll probably go on to have a great season next year, maybe even pick up another major. So I think that Monty's real thinking was that Harrington's almost got a point to prove this year, and he's going to come in and really be a real stalwart in the European team, along with giving perhaps a bit more of a team spirit in there. So I think that's what Monty's thoughts were. So about the actual match, I mean, as I say, the countdown's begun now. It's obviously going to be close. Most of the matches are close. The European team did run away with it for a few Ryder Cups recently, but obviously America are holding the cup at the moment. The venue at Celtic Manor, it's a great venue for excitement, especially the middle holes. There's going to be some great holes around the water there. I've read some stuff that they've really set up the golf course, so it's going to be almost like a sort of football stadium atmosphere. The first tee is going to be I don't know, 20,000 around the first tee or something like that. So I mean, it's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere there. Obviously home advantage, the crowd cheering on the European team, that will play a part. You know, some of the Americans that are not used to travelling outside of the States to play tournaments, you know, guys like Ricky Fowler obviously just into the team, some of these other guys, you know, Matt Kuchar, Jeff Overton, I'm not sure they've travelled and played much around the world. So it's going to be an unbelievable experience for them to be down in the valleys. When you get down to Celtic Manor, it's like a sort of stadium type venue there, so the noise is going to be ringing through. Hopefully the rain's not going to be out, because we don't want the European fans having to hold umbrellas. We want them, you know, with both hands ready to clap and cheer and make as much noise as possible. So to not avoid what I think is going to happen, I think that the European team have definitely got to be going in being the strongest. They're the favourites on paper. Obviously Keimer picking up a major, Graham McDowell picking up a major. I mean, they're massive psychological boost for these guys going in there. They're going to be really feeling as if they can match anyone in the world game. I think the Europeans will probably edge it on the pairings. I think they've got more natural pairings. Obviously the Molinari brothers, that's going to be a great pairing. I think Eduardo did phenomenally well to get into the team. Even though Monty said that, you know, Molinari didn't have to win that final event at Glen Eagles, I think he really had to. So I think that's massive that Molinari fought his way into the team like that, and I can't wait to see the Molinari brothers, obviously the winners of the World Cup with 4-ball and foursome, so they are going to be a strong pairing. But I think when you look down the European team, you almost could pull the pairings out of a hat. I think the players will gel together that well. We will probably see Graham McDowell and Rory McIlroy together. There's so many other pairings there. I mean, you could pull them out of a hat. Whereas when we go to the American team, I think they've got more issues with their pairings. I really think Paven has brought someone in like Ricky Fowler, which is a clever move. Bed him in for this Ryder Cup, but also for future Ryder Cups. I think Ricky Fowler is one of the guys that could play with almost anyone, because he's that kind of laid-back type of individual. But you know, it's been widely said Tiger can't really find a partner. Now he's tended to pair up with Steve Stricker in the President's Cup, and those guys have got a pretty good record. But I think it is much more difficult when you try and pick out some pairings, you know. I don't see an obvious partner there for Phil Mickelson. Bubba Watson, you know, had a fantastic year, but would you really want his drive in a foursomes game? So, you know, when you look through the American pairings, I think they're really going to have players that gel that week, and if they don't, I really see the Europeans getting on top very early on and taking a lead into the singles match. So, of course, being a European, I may be a little bit biased there, but I really feel that the Europeans, because of this idea that they're going to gel together better as a team, I think we're going to see the Europeans take probably a 2 or 3 point lead into the singles matches, and I think nowadays they're going to be strong enough to hold on. The Europeans used to struggle in the singles matches, and the US team used to dominate there, but I think those days have gone now. So, you know, my call's going to be that I think Europe will take a 2 or 3 point lead into the singles, and then they'll be strong enough and maybe even win the singles. So it will be close, but my money is going to go to the Europeans this time. I think home advantage is going to play a part. I hope it doesn't rain too much, because I want as much noise from the home fans, but we're going to be in for quite a spectacle. I mean, golf doesn't get any better than the Ryder Cup. I know that I'm going to be cheering hard for the Europeans, so that's it. That's my thoughts really. Europe victory. So let's look forward to watching it. There's going to be some great coverage, and let's see if I'm right with my shouts about Harrington being leading point scorer. Yeah, it's going to be good. So enjoy watching it.